But tomorrow's the trade deadline. The Guardians just beat the Phillies, and we're going to talk about what that means for the future of the Guards after a quick word from the number one sportsbook in America, FanDuel. You guys know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop, but as we get deeper and deeper into the summer, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to, but FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long, so head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Speaking of Major League Baseball, the Guardians took 2 of 3 from the Phillies on the road despite pitching Ben Lively, Cookie Carrasco, and a rookie on Sunday in Joey Cantillo. The deadline is tomorrow. We've seen numerous teams across the league make some significant deadline acquisitions already. The Guards yet to make a move. So with about 30-ish hours left until the deadline, knowing where the Guardians stand, knowing how they can compete against the best teams in baseball, what are your guys' expectations for the next 30-ish hours for the Guardians? Buyers? Big-time buyers? Or is there a chance they're just going to stand pat and let this rock after a series where they beat the Phillies, essentially without Josh Naylor?
You know what we talked about, man. Now, this is twice. They done already told you. We talked about the core four. we talked about that core four. They got a big three right over there with the Guardians. You know, as long as they got Naylor, Ramirez, and Quan, they can always say, we like our young core. By the way, guys, look where we're at. The best record of Major League Baseball while using some of our young guys. And just think, we feel we're going to get better. Gavin Williams hasn't hit his stride yet. We have confidence that we're going to get some of our younger guys back with the arms, and we sent Logan Allen down. We're working on him. Tristan McKenzie, I think, is getting stronger every day. Lively has pitched his tail off, and we feel like he's really having a special year. So, you know, we felt really secure in our core, and we felt secure that we were able to go into the second half of the season by using some of the assets we have and not giving away some of the young, promising talent that we've been able to show at the major league level. So therefore, Minimoski, nothing's going down.
Whoa!
Minimoski, they might get a little arm here or there, but the fact that they in the first place, it only emboldens them, right? We haven't learned from the 51 Cavs, the 51-win Cavs.
Hey.
We ain't learned from that.
You know, you the baseball expert on this panel. Listen, Guardians, man, please don't make me come out here tomorrow and have to cook you.
I told you.
Please don't make me come out here tomorrow and have to cook you. Because
well,
as
the
a casual,
deadline's tomorrow at 4, right?
But listen,
so they have until tomorrow at 4.
As a casual fan who's been totally vested in this team all season long, and I see the potential that this team has in being able to reach the World Series, you know, talking to guys who really know way more about this game than I do, right? I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm seeing teams around us making moves. Steve just put in the chat, the Royals just made a move today. They got Michael Lorenz from the Rangers to bolster up their starting rotation. Yep. The Guardians just sitting here playing tic-tac-toe.
And by the way, they're light years behind us.
They just sitting here with us. They playing tic-tac-toe, playing around, messing around, things like that. Like I said this last week, I get so sick and tired of this passive-aggressive approach from this baseball team. And it seems like they does this more often than not. Are they a good franchise? Yes. Do they got a good front office? Yes. The Guardians do just enough every single year to be in the mix, to hang around, teeter in the mix all year long. They play with our feelings more than women do. All year, every single year, right? And then you get to a point to where you really, really got an opportunity to do something great this year, and you still hesitant of being all in. Stop trying to sell this fan base on this passive-aggressive BS, man, when you know if you put a quality product out there, we'll show up. Everybody want to talk about this small market, this team not having money to spend. I don't know the ins and outs of how all that stuff go. All I know is in the streets, you got to spend money to make money. And I'm telling you, if you spend the money, if you be aggressive, if you go out here and get some quality players in here, you will make that money back. So if them not making the move is about the money side of things and all of that, man, that's going to piss me off so bad. because you can make the money back. But scared money don't make no money.
No, I agree with all that. You got to spend it to make it. I think every team has an obligation to its fan base around the middle of July to make a proper assessment as to what you think your team really is. You've had 4 months to look at it. Mm-hmm. By then, you know what you are. And these are there's conflicting set of facts here. Okay, 3 weeks ago, I was saying on this show, you go all in, you get Fetty, you get maybe another arm and another bat. You go all in because at the time they had the best record in Major League Baseball and they hadn't yet hit a terrible skid. Remember, in May when we were discussing this team, I said, there is going to be a drought for this club.
Yeah.
There will be a time when we look at things and say, uh-oh, are we who we thought we were? So here's what the front office has to decide, and there's conflicting facts. On one hand, you've got the best record in the American League. The best record in the American League. You're the second best record in Major League Baseball, and the only team with a better record than you just took 2 of 3 at their place with a pitching staff made up of Band-Aids. You know, their bullpen yesterday, I think, went 6+ innings or 6 innings and gave up 1 hit. Mm-hmm. So on the other hand, there's 2 things. Who you are since opening day and who you've been the last month. Mm-hmm. And that's where things get gray.
Sticky. Mm-hmm.
They're 12-16 in the last month. And that scares the hell out of me. And I was making the case upstairs Friday to some of our huge sports fans up there. I don't think I'm any longer in the camp, we're all in, man, we got to go all full Texas Rangers here, and we've got to add all of these pieces because this is ours. We can pull off a Texas Rangers. We can do what the Atlanta Braves did a couple of years ago. We can do this. After watching them the last month, I'm not as convinced. And so the front office is doing this gentle mental gymnastics today. Can we win this? Can we do it? Or is this a situation where we maybe make a move to get to the ALCS, but we don't really believe we have a realistic chance of winning? That's their question to answer. I am less in the we absolutely can win it camp today than I was a month ago. I'm nervous. Now, the weekend series gave me great optimism because it seems that we're winning. Now, obviously, Cookie got smashed, but, you know, you're rolling these rookies out here and, you know, even though we gave up 3 runs, the bullpen came in, slammed the door, and we got the win. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I really don't know where they are. Are they a full-on contender? Because it basically is like a poker game. You know your hand. You've been holding it. You know it. Are you all in? Are you 60% of the chips in? Are you 10% of the chips in? We're going to find out what the Guardians front office believes tomorrow. But here's a warning.
Okay, go ahead.
Last year at this time, they were further out of first place than the Royals were when the Royals just made a move. The Royals are further from us than we were from the Twins last year. Mm-hmm. We're sellers. We got rid of Aaron Savali, who has done nothing since he left here. But at the time, he was pitching very well for us. And it was a white flag to the fans. Guys, there's nothing to see here. We're selling. We don't believe in this team. We're going to try to keep our kids and move forward. I believe it was the very next night.
He hopped on a plane and went to Houston.
They were no hit by the Houston Astros.
Yeah, they were.
The very next game.
They had to get on that plane and go down there and explain to them folks how it is, why they waved that white flag and shipped them up the creek without a paddle.
And I'm connecting dots here, okay? I am purely connecting dots. I have not heard this from anybody. Oh. I have not. There's been no reporting on this. I think that's the day they lost Tito Francona.
Oh, I remember you were sitting there talking about it.
Well, I'm like, if I'm Tito, I'm handing in my resignation. I'm out. You don't believe in what this team is doing. You're going sell mode when you're 2 games out of first place. They made a couple of other moves leading up to Savali. Savali was the white flag. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing to me that they're going to do that. Can we take that shot of Progressive Field one more time? Steve, you had it up there a minute ago. I want us to see the shot of Progressive Field while I say this. There is nothing in all of sports, to me, I'm a baseball guy, more exciting than walking into that building at 7 o'clock on an early October afternoon or evening with the fans packed to the rafters, the lights brightening up that beautiful green turf below, and getting ready for a baseball playoff game. There is nothing like it to me. And I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to all of it. Now, I haven't been to a Super Bowl with the Browns. That would eclipse it for me. Maybe an AFC championship game in Cleveland Browns Stadium would eclipse it for me. But right now, of all of the wonderful things I've been fortunate enough to experience in my sports fandom and my career as a journalist, there's nothing that beats the feeling of walking into that building at night in October for a playoff game. Do not steal this from the fans.
I think they're stealing it more for, not even stealing it from the fans. This is why I advocate every single player. If you feel like they ain't trying to win, I believe in people being disruptive, because sometimes disruptive people change the course of life.
Well, absolutely.
And we applaud people. We applauded the fact that Jose Ramirez gave back all this money. I would go, if they didn't make a move, I would march into the front office and I would say, listen, if you guys aren't going to make a deal, I'm going to publicly. And you know, Jose Ramirez don't talk, right? He don't talk to the media. He's people say, well, he can speak English, but there's a thing where he doesn't, not comfortable with talking, right? So he very rarely talks, and he's in his own world. Do you know how much things would move if Jose Ramirez, the guy who gave back the money, woke up one day and was like, let me come talk to y'all real quick. I'm disappointed in where we're at right now, because this is not the first time you've done this.
Right.
This is, if they don't make a move, they are content with wasting his career.
Apparently. Apparently.
There's nothing you can tell me.
And I'm sure part of the conversation when they were discussing this contract, whether this was said or unsaid, it was implied. Okay, now this $95 million that I just gave you as a discount, because the Blue Jays offer was said to be close to $100 million more. Mm-hmm. I want you to spend that money. I want you to reinvest that money in this team. What free agent have they signed since then? Last year they got Zunino, flame out. Bell, flame out. Poorly spent. But at least they tried. This year they're like, okay, we're going to walk it back with what we have, see what happens. And it's worked. But now is the opportunity to go out and get a couple of frontline starting pitchers, because Cookie isn't going to do it.
Like you said,
I love Carlos Carrasco. He's not going to do it in the playoffs.
Like you said, man, don't steal this from the fans.
Don't
right?
take
because
it from us.
The Guardians have overachieved to this point of the season, right? They have reached heights that we didn't expect them to reach.
You're right.
And when people sit back and look at this team and you see them go toe-to-toe with the best team in baseball on their home field and come out victorious in that series, when you see them be at the top of the AL, all season long, it's clearly everything is right there in front of you. And as a front office and as an organization, for you to stand back, sit idle, and do absolutely nothing is really sending a wrong message to the fans. It's telling people in Cleveland that you don't give a damn and that you're just willing to sit back and be mediocre and be content with just being a team that's in the mix every single year versus a real threat and a real competitor to go chase the World Series.
Yeah, he did this style of, and this is the thing with baseball. Like, I'm watching the Guardians, and we all watching them. The style of play that they playing, that's not, you can't carry that to no postseason. I know we like, oh, we got these young guys that's coming up, but you can't have trust in Freeman. with guys on the, it's ducks on the pond. You talk about, listen, I hope Rocchio come through. No, that is, you at Yankee Stadium. Like, we all, like, sometimes the record, and this is and sometimes for me, it's almost like a gift and a curse, because they do play so well, and they play well in series like that against the Phillies, and because they do have one of the top records in Major League Baseball, and because they do have this resiliency to them, and there are a bunch of guys in the team that you like, with a manager that you like, there's a lot of good energy. You got the number one pick. He look like he gonna be something. It's almost like that gives them all the ammunition they need to say, guys, everything is good. We are at a good place. But it's fool's gold. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you think you're going into into Houston, or you're going into Yankee Stadium, or you're playing Baltimore, and you think you're gonna be able to come in and play games where you're not gonna get no runs, you can't get 3 or 4 innings out of your starting lineup with your pitchers, that's not workable wins in the postseason. It's not gonna work.
Jay, with what we've seen the last couple of years from the Braves and Texas last year and Arizona, who made the World Series, not being in that pole position heading into the playoff stretch, especially from kind of this point of the season on, I know you said you're not 100% sold this team should go all in to make the big swing, but I feel like with the way baseball's playoffs are set up now, you don't have to be in the Guardians' position to decide this team's capable of making the run that we all hope and dream it can to still make a move. Do you think what we've seen over the last few seasons with some of those teams making these deeper playoff runs will change or impact at all how the Guardians approach these next 30 hours?
It should, because when the Rangers made those moves last year, they were looked at as a team that was in one of 8 to 12 that could win it. We had a World Series last year between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
That's really all you need to say. It wasn't the Dodgers. It wasn't the Phillies. It wasn't the Yankees. It wasn't the Braves. It wasn't these colossal spenders. It was teams that are just doing it a different way. Now, the Rangers went in. The Rangers had some big-name, high-dollar guys. They made some great moves at the deadline. They improved their roster, top to bottom, and they won. There's no guarantees in this sport. None.
Right.
But I'll guarantee you this. If you don't get to the party, you can't win the party. And where they are right now, I know everybody said it was a fait accompli that we're going to make the playoffs, but you're 12-16 over your last month. If you play at that pace from today to the end of the regular season, where you win 3 and lose 4, you're not going to make the playoffs. You're not. Because there are the Twins are coming. The Royals are coming. You know, the Red Sox have improved. The Yankees are back. You know, do you want to roll the dice and be a wild card team? Right now, you're in position to be the 1 seed in the American League.
That's
with the roster you have.
That's the big part.
Go bolster your roster and give this fan base a chance to pop the cork on a bottle of champagne that has been chilling since 1948.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like, and this is the way I think about certain things, when it comes to certain owners, do you believe that their teams are just a business like a restaurant? Or
I hope not. We deserve better than that.
Yeah, we do.
But they operate it almost like that, right? Right now, if I was a businessman, I'm like, okay, well, we're getting good reviews. People are coming to the restaurant. Why do I need to upgrade the food? Like, why do I need to put an expensive steak on the market when we're doing good with this?
I
understand
chef. What you're saying, and to me, the evidence would lead me to say that's exactly what they're doing. But I've met Mr. Dolan. I do have respect for him. I know he cares about this team. He wants to have a winner here. I know that. The question is, can he afford to have a winner
in
here?
business? I'm just
But I mean,
maybe.
if these deals that we're talking about, you're going to give up some prospects and you're going to get a couple of arms. The White Sox have 2 arms that I would trade for right now. But I think Fetty should be the guy that they're targeting. He's pitched against us twice this year. He's gone 6 innings both times, and I think given up 3 hits and no runs in both starts. Like, he's had our number. He's looked really good the couple of times I've watched him. I have watched him and said the second time I watched him, I imagine he was wearing a Guardians uniform because I knew that the White Sox, they've had 2 14-game losing streaks this year. They are 54 games, I believe, under 500 right now.
That's crazy.
54 games under 500. So, I mean, they've got 81. If they won all of their games from here on out, they'd finish 500.
That's crazy.
And they'd have to win 64 games or 54 games to do it. They'd have to win 54 games in a row to be 500.
We got our guest, so I can't ask you this after the show. I just want to ask you about Blitzer and Colic and Walker with the Guardians.
I would hope that would make a difference. I would hope that the Blitzer group wants a winner here too. I would imagine that there have been meetings between the Blitzer group and the Dolans, and maybe Matt is a part of that too. I ask him these things. He's very tight-lipped. Should be. I'm glad he doesn't talk to me about that. But they've got to make a move. They owe it to this fan base. As I said, that bottle of champagne has been chilling since '48. Can you imagine what a World Series, what that would feel like? What October would feel like in the city of
I'm
Cleveland.
getting chills just thinking about
If
it.
they did what the Texas Rangers were able to do last year.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I can remember, that Game 7 in 2016.
Oh, my God.
That anticipation building of, I'm about to party downtown Cleveland just like I did
A couple months earlier.
Yeah, a couple months earlier. So
We deserve it.
We deserve it.
These fans deserve it. And by the way, these fans have supported this club much more than they have in the past. The games are well attended. Our attendance figures are up. We're more towards the middle of the pack now than the bottom 4 or 5. So, I mean, I don't know how else I can say it. Again, I don't know that I'm 100 chips into the middle of the table like I was a month ago, but I'm putting a good number of them in there, and I do think that we've got to make moves. Don't give away the farm, but we're a couple of pieces away to being able to do this, and what a magical ride it would be.